welcome back to my channel. I am back with this week's Teen Mom Recap. Before I get started with this week's video, I would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single week about the newest episode of Teen Mom when it's airing, and when it's not, we just talk about the Teen Mom news going on, which is what we're going to do this week. I recap the episodes, I tell you what's going on with the Teen Mom. I make the episodes a lot shorter, sweeter, and funnier, so if that's something you'd want to watch, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this week's video. So first things first, we have some Farrah news. Surely everyone remembers when Farrah was pinned down at a club after she slapped a security guard when asked to leave. At this point, that happened 2 years ago, almost to the day. Well, a female security guard filed a lawsuit against Farrah, according to TMZ. The guard claims that she suffered lost wages and incurred medical expenses. Farrah allegedly struck the security guard on the side of the face, which she says left her with an eye injury, other facial injuries, and psychological trauma. So this is a female security guard, which was not caught on camera, at least not that we have public footage of. And it was not the same person who was pinning down Farrah in the footage that we do have. Now, I do always wonder why it takes so long for these people to file these lawsuits. Something similar happened with the lawsuit against Cheyenne for that car accident like 3 years ago. So this was 2 years ago for Farrah's. I'm wondering maybe if this person needed to like submit proof of all the medical appointments they went to and all the work time that they lost out on to get more money. I don't really know. But I do entirely believe her though, because this is not the first time that Farrah's been arrested for assault or battery. I believe she's permanently banned from the Beverly Hills Hotel for attacking a security guard there. For that incident, Abraham struck him in the face with her forearm, grabbed his ear, and pushed him in the face. So hopefully this security guard gets her bag. Oh, and according to the Ashley, the security guard posted this on Instagram, and you can read it here. In this little caption, she mentions being blind in the same eye that Farrah hit her in. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm on her side, but can I just say, like, what we're all thinking here? Why would you be a security guard if you're blind in one eye? I just feel like there's a lot of other, like, more suitable jobs and career options. Like, don't you kind of need to be able to see everything that's going on if you're in a very physical and fast-paced job like security at a club? In fact, I sort of wonder why there's even female security guards in an environment where there's a lot of very drunk men, but anyway, does that make me sexist? Anyway, Farrah is fighting back, and not just in a drunken punching way this time. She countersued the club, which is Grandmaster Recorders, and sued the security guard who was in the video pinning her down. She decided to post the court documents on Instagram. Let's see, what do we have here? Plaintiff's complaint for damages: assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, negligent hiring, training, and supervision, respondeat superior, general negligence, premises liability, negligent use of excessive force, and punitive damages. And her caption, in the usual word salad, I'll put it here for you to read if you wish. The only part that caught my eye was, "Justice is served." Bitch, you just filed this. Has the defendant even been served? To the female security guard, please get your due compensation. Just garnish all of Farrah's OnlyFans wages for her, please. Next, we have some Janelle-related news. We'll start off with the older news. Her ex Nathan's girlfriend, or I guess wife, May Oyola, was arrested for battery against Nathan. So that sounds like a super healthy, mutually abusive relationship going on there. I think Nathan's shirt here says it all. The only thing that caught my eye in this case was that May Oyola needed a Spanish interpreter in court. We know that Nathan's dumbass can't speak Spanish. So this is like a 90-day fiancé situation where they can't even communicate with each other? Weird. Also, we have an update on Andrew Lewis from the Ashley. Let's read this. Andrew has kind of peaced out again, a source told the Ashley. He wrote Jace a few letters and they did speak on the phone for a bit. But after that, Andrew seemed to lose interest. Again, this is his child. And so did Jace. I think the novelty of talking to his dad wore off for Jace, and he doesn't really care whether his dad is in his life now. The source also tells the Ashley that Andrew was acting really weird during the December CPS hearing he was beamed into. And at one point, he was threatened by the judge to pipe down or get thrown out. Andrew kept interrupting the judge during the hearing, and also butted in while others involved in the case were speaking. It was getting to the point where no one could answer questions without an interruption from Andrew. So the judge told him if he did it again, he wouldn't be part of the process. The whole thing was odd, considering Andrew had no part in raising Jace up to this point, and didn't even know what he was talking about. He was lucky to even get to be there. And this is all from the Ashley's Reality Roundup. Yeah, I mean, who didn't see this coming? It's super depressing reading that Andrew has lost interest in his son. Like, damn, you missed out on the kid's life for 14 years, you're back for like a month, and you already lost interest in your child? Andrew has always been like a bizarre case to me. Like everyone else on the show, you can kind of pin them down. Like Adam Lind, Chelsea Huska's ex, he always struck me as like antisocial personality disorder, like to a T. David Eason is just an extremely dumb, violent country boy who attacks those who are weaker than him. Not much depth to it. And Ryan Edwards is a drug addict, and that's why he acts the way he does. And notice all these people stayed on the show for the money, whereas Andrew never came back for the money, even though I don't think it's like a wholesome thing. I don't think he didn't come back because he's like, oh no, I don't want this Teen Mom money. It's just weird that he never came back, right? Like, what is up with Andrew? His behavior is just genuinely odd. In the few times he was on the show, he's just acts very strangely. I remember one time Barbara got with him on FaceTime, and at the end of the call, he was like, love you, bye, and like blew her a kiss. It was just weird. Like, is this untreated mental illness? Is it like schizophrenia? Because, you know, schizophrenia is not always like the super severe cases. You can have like a minor form of it, and that's kind of what I'm getting from him, but I don't know. He's weird. We also have some new tweets from Rue on Twitter, basically saying that David was the one to convince Janelle to get the restraining order on Barbara because Barbara offered to help her leave David. She also said this: in other news, just an FYI, but someone will be gloating soon. Get your puke buckets ready. Well, Rue actually seemed wrong about that because we got some great news about David today, courtesy of The Sun. Let's go ahead and check this out. So as we can see here from the title, David Eason's child abuse charge has been upgraded to a felony. They found enough evidence to take his case out of district court, where misdemeanors are held, and bring it to the superior court, where the felony cases are held. And the Ashley website is actually saying that it's assault by strangulation. So this is actually a really good thing, because beforehand, it was he had charges for misdemeanor child abuse, and obviously a misdemeanor, much lower level than a felony. In fact, the reason that David is able to have all these guns and stuff is that he's never been convicted of a felony before. He has plenty of misdemeanors, but no actual felonies that he's been convicted of. So if he was actually convicted for this, he might actually see some jail time, some probation, you know, some actual consequences. Hopefully more than Ryan Edwards has seen. So this is great news. The court is actually taking it seriously for once, and we might get to see some actual justice for once after years and years of skirting by the legal system. So I'm excited to see what's going to turn out of this. But someone who is not so excited is Janelle, despite the gag order, which I think that's just for the CPS case, but really it should be for her entire life and her entire existence. Like, she really needs to just shut up in general. She's been posting on Facebook, including this. Let's take a read. I live in the most corrupt place in the world. The most corrupt place in the world. Not Syria, not Afghanistan, North Carolina. Because her husband strangled her kid and now he's facing consequences. Okay, let's keep going. It's funny how biased people are against us. When the truth comes out, I hope you feel stupid. I cannot stand where I live. The Fed should be looking into all the corruption I've dealt with for years with the law enforcement of North Carolina. Definitely moving when all this is said and done. Can't wait. 100 emoji. Fresh start, family first. The audacity to hashtag family first. Most corrupt place in the world. In the world. Like, she didn't even say in the US, in the world. Let's go ahead and read some more. Sometimes I'm such an introvert. And remember, I have this fan base that I can connect with on a positive level. Because you block everybody who says otherwise. I appreciate everyone's support through all of this. I'm hanging in there. And it's so funny when you actually go to the comments. Like, everyone who's actually being nice to her has like 23 laugh emoji reacts on it. Someone said, I relate to you in many ways. Like, everyone who's commenting positively on this post needs like an open CPS investigation themselves. Very, very obvious. She's obviously deleting comments, blocking everyone who says otherwise. You're an incredible woman. And it has like 19 laughing emojis on it. Oh, another one. I cannot wait to share my story. Every person that has treated us with disrespect will be called out. Anyone that has conspired with my mother will be called out. Anything information I've tried to protect others with will be released. Any agencies that have done me wrongly will be called out. I had my documentary outlined for the past 2 years on hard drive and now adding more to it. This is having to do mainly about my childhood, but now there's a lot more to say. And then if any production companies are interested, no company wants to be associated with you. Not MTV, not TLC, not even WeTV. And they take all the rejects, the Mama Junes, everybody. Like, why is she acting like she had years and years to share her story? She even wrote a book. I read it. It was trash. And everything that you shared was quickly, like, disqualified as not being true, or was greatly exaggerated. You tried to tell your story. We just saw through it. Another one, can't even call for concerns about them causing mass chaos because I get threatened to get thrown in jail. Nice. It's okay. You will all see the light eventually. I guess that's from her maybe calling the courthouse. I hope she does get thrown in jail. Like, that would be great if they would follow up on these threats. So that's pretty much all she's posted thus far. I'm sure she'll post way more after I post this video. Yeah, this is great news for Jace. Great news for David finally seeing some consequences for his actions, and hopefully Janelle too. Although with all that happened with Ryan Edwards, I'm kind of worried, like, even though he's charged with all this stuff, they could still let him off the hook, but let's just hope not. With all that being said, I want to move on to a little bit of lighter news. One last Janelle thing, I promise. Kind of take your mind off the felony strangulation and all this horrible stuff. In light of all the GYPSY Rose news coming out with GYPSY Rose Blanchard being released from prison, Janelle decided to add her take. And I almost thought this was fake at first when I saw it, but it's not. It's not fake. So she posts GYPSY Rose and her mom, and she says, same, #toxic parents. No, that is not the same. The only thing that's the same between you and GYPSY Rose and Dee Dee Blanchard is the Munchausen syndrome. But really, that's not the same at all, because Janelle, you have the Munchausen, not your mom. Barbara never tried to change your age or put you through extremely painful and unnecessary surgeries and medications and force you into a wheelchair and infantilize you your whole life like GYPSY Rose was. Jesus Christ, man, it is not the same at all. Oh, and her next post? Guys, this is so fucking funny. And my sister did witchcraft when I was younger, and no one stopped her! This can't be real! I'm so fucking weak. I was so weak when I first read that. I'm like, there's no way she's being serious, but it's Janelle. Like, she is being dead serious. She's actually... her sister, you know, probably being a little kid mixing leaves and water together in the backyard to make, like, potions, you know. That's truly the same thing as, like, medical child abuse. Barbara letting Ashley mix potions together and do witchcraft like all little kids do is the same as Dee Dee Blanchard abusing her daughter for over 20 years. Jesus Christ, Janelle! So that is all for this week's video. Let me know, what do you think of David catching some charges for once? Do you think it's actually something's gonna come of it? Is he actually gonna go to jail? Fingers crossed. And what do you think of Janelle comparing herself to Dee Dee and GYPSY Blanchard? Make sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe for more Team Mom recaps every week.